so that the people that can't make it come and make it later on. Okay. Hi, Aiden. So while you're unmuted, tell me what you know about grading. We're going to talk about like grading for all your classes first, and then we're going to kind of talk specifically about this class.
Isn't it just a pass or fail?
That's right. It's pass or fail for the 5th 6 weeks and also for the 6th 6 weeks. What that is true. That is not a rumor, that is true. What else have you guys heard?
Like over 70, it's a pass, and then
Right.
is a fail. And then like all of the makeup work for the last 6 weeks is due on Friday.
That is correct. Yep. So I made a flip chart that has a bunch of memes on it with information about grading. Here we go. Okay. I want you all to be able to see this though. So this is my 4th Zoom meeting, so I'm getting better, but I'm still not perfect. Okay. Can you guys see the Jumanji meme?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Watch the old Jumanji though, not just the new one with Jack Black and Kevin Hart. The original one has Robin Williams. It's from the 90s. It's very good. Okay, so your 5th 6 weeks grades are due Friday. I can adjust your grade up if you complete some extra credit assignments, but you have until Friday to do that. So we'll take some time to look at that here in a second. We're going to kind of go through this information, and then we'll like have several different points where we stop and say, hey, do you have any questions? And then we'll make sure that everyone's on the same page. I'm taking down who all's here so I know who to message afterwards. So take a second to look over this, see if you have any questions. Parker. Hi, Parker. And that's both Carters. Both Carters. Let's see. Hello, Claudia. Hello, Annie. You're not working. All right, so any questions about what you see on there?
Nope.
Make pretty good sense about what you've heard from your other teachers?
What if one of my classes is, she assigned more than one assignment? Is that allowed or no?
I would say on questions like that, just shoot out an email to your teacher. The teachers kind of know what's going on, but not perfectly. So you know how they're kind of telling us just a little bit at a time. Be patient with your teachers, and if you have questions, reach out to them. And if you feel like they're not giving you the lowdown totally, then you can have your parents reach out to them. And then if stuff is still not ideal, you can like reach out to an assistant principal. But hopefully it shouldn't come to that. Hello, Avery. I'm almost done taking attendance here. Okay, so no other questions about what you see here. You have until Friday. That's maybe the most important thing to know about this. Okay, I'm looking in the chat to see if we have any more questions. I don't see any questions. Okay, next set of information. So take a look over that. There's a fun meme of Forrest Gump there. Hope you've all seen Forrest Gump. It's a great movie. Okay, I'm almost done. Okay. All right, attendance is done. Now we can get back to it. So, a lot of this is information that you maybe have already figured out, except for the part about semester exams. There are no semester exams. What that means is your grade for the semester is going to be calculated as take your 3 6-week grades, take the 4th 6 weeks, the 5th 6 weeks, and the 6th 6 weeks, average those 3 grades together, and that will be your grade for the semester. If your grade for the semester comes out to be 70 or above, you'll get a P for the semester. For pass, you'll get your credit. If it's below 70, when you average those 3 grades together, it will be F. You won't get your credit. You'll have to retake pre-AP geometry at some point in the future. So even though it's pass-fail for the 5th 6 weeks and the 6th 6 weeks, there's still going to be a grade in Focus. Can everybody log into Focus? Yes, I can log into Focus. If you can't log into Focus, let me know and I'll try to get you some kind of help. If you're having problems with your password, or if you're having problems with your computer, tomorrow there's going to be some assistant principals up in the new building from 10 to 1. If you're having password issues, you can go and talk to them. If you're having computer issues, you can go and talk to them. So when you log into Focus, you're going to see a number that's going to be your grade for the 5th 6 weeks, and then the same thing will happen for the 6th 6 weeks. So it'll work basically the same as always, except instead of on your report card you getting an 80 or a 90 or a number grade, it will just say P or F. So I don't think there's very many of you in dual credit or on-ramps. So let's look at the next page. Okay. So we're going to look at this particular class. So let's look in Google Classroom. If you can fire up your Google Classroom, then that would be helpful. But I'm going to show you what Google Classroom looks like on my end. And I'm going to share this with you so that you can see it. Nope, wrong one. Share screen. Okay, here we go. Bam. All right, so you guys can see Mr. Schmitzius' pre-AP geometry now, right? Yeah, cool, okay. So there's 2 folders that I want to look through with you. The first one is 5th 6 weeks grades. All right, so this is part of the grading plan document that we'll look through in a little bit. We already said, hey, you're either going to get a passing grade or a failing grade for 5th 6 weeks. If you have if you're not happy with your grade right now, you look into Focus and you're like, ooh, I don't have 70 yet. Then you have until Friday to bring that grade up. As long as it's timestamped by 11:59 p.m., I will take it. So there are 3 different types of assignments you might need to do. That could be making up a homework assignment. I've posted all the pages from the book that you would need in order to make those up. On Focus, if you have a 0 for an old homework assignment, if you hover over that assignment, it'll tell you which page number that assignment is from and which numbers to do. But if you can't do that, but that's not working, just reach out to me on reminder email and I will help you with that. If you want to make up a quiz, a lot of you have already done the meme project. That's a lot of fun. You can upload that to Google Classroom. And then if you need to make up the test, I changed something on here because a lot of people were saying, hey, I can't see the test problem. So if you go down here, circles and parabolas, test retake. So if you open up this Word document, it has multiple choice questions that you can go back and answer, and that will give you the opportunity to raise up your grade if you answer correctly. So before you download the test, all you see is A, B, C, D. You don't see what the answer choices are. So I took pictures. So here's the actual question and also the answer choices, question and answer choices. So that's numbers 1 through 3. That goes all the way through to number 10. Chats, can you show us how to do the meme project? Yes. So, yeah, if you have a question at any time, go ahead and put it in the chat, or we'll have some time to unmute ourselves. Okay. So here you go. I bet we can just copy this and then put it in a new. Let's see. Oh, let's go ahead and copy the whole thing. There we go. Okay. So here's the meme generator. So you can make a copy of this. So I'm going to name this geometry meme. Okay. Wait for the swirly thing to stop swirling. Okay, so you can pick the cat picture or the SpongeBob picture. I like SpongeBob a lot. And then you double click and you say, how I feel when I haven't seen my geometry students in person for a month. So, you can format that. Now, optimally, this would be like something more particular to Is this helpful though, Zeke? You get the idea of what I'm asking you to do here? Hopefully it would be more like content related and not just here's a picture and here's me saying something. Yes, okay, good. So let's go back and look at what it says on the grading document. Go back up to the top. So that will like improve your quiz grade. The only way to correct to raise up the test grade is to go back and do the test retake. Yes.
How many times can we do the test retake?
That's a good question. If you submit it and I grade it and you've got some questions that you missed that you still need to go over to raise your grade up to a 70, like I'll email and you say, hey, these are the ones that you missed. Let's think about these topics a little bit more in depth, and then if you still have questions after that, we can set up like a Zoom tutoring session. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it'll be the same kind of thing when we look at Edgenuity here in a second. You have multiple chances to go through and do the assessments. So don't like do your best, but don't stress yourself out thinking, oh my gosh, I have to get it perfect the first time. That's not what learning is about, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting a question about the summer class, A squared I. I'm going to email my summer, I'm good friends with the person who's in charge of that summer class, and so I'm going to email her as soon as we hang up on this meeting and ask her and get that information to you, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is pretty much what you need to know about raising up your 5th 6 weeks grade. So now let's look at the 6 6 weeks. Go to the calendar or the folder that says 6 6 weeks. All right, so we're going to open up this document that says Pre-AP Geometry Grading Plan. So this first part is, okay, 4 6 weeks, 56 weeks, we already talked about 5th 6 weeks, 6 6 weeks. So you're going to have one assignment per week that will determine your pass-fail grade. We're going to look at Edgenuity here in a little bit to see where you're going to find the assessments. I'm basically going to be taking your quiz grade from each week and averaging those together. That's going to determine what your 6 6 weeks grade is. There's also going to be like classroom participation points for coming to these Zoom meetings. So be sure that you come to all the Zoom meetings that we schedule. If you're absent for one, I'm going to put I'm recording this right now, and so I'm going to take it when we're done and put it up on YouTube. So you can go back and watch it, and then I'll just ask you some questions to make sure that you really did watch it and didn't just hit play and go do whatever for half an hour, 45 minutes. So that is the grades for 6 6 weeks are all going to be on Edgenuity. And since this is a pre-AP geometry class, there are going to be some extra pre-AP resources that I'm going to put on Google Classroom. So I'm going to show you that here in just a second. This is a good time for me to pause and say, do you have any questions about anything that we've talked about up to this point as far as how grading for 5th 6 weeks is going to go or how grading for 6 6 weeks is going to go?
For the pre-AP classes, on the end, you were doing parallelograms, right? Because I know on the other class it said like surface area, so we're doing parallelogram.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm gonna take you through that in a little bit. The one that's updated and is correct is the one that says calendar 2.0, because we came up with a plan and the school district changed stuff. So you want to do it based off of this new calendar that's posted, because this matches up with what's on Edgenuity, like the order and everything. Okay, good question. Any other questions before we flip over to look at Edgenuity? The only stupid question is the question you have and don't ask, you know? Okay, okie dokie. So on here, go away. I have a link written down. So there's a couple different ways that you can get to Edgenuity. If you already know how to get to Edgenuity, you just hop right on over there. When I do the old website to log on to all my Fort Worth ISD stuff, like Focus and Google Classroom and everything, it takes me to a page that says it's not secure. So I've been using Launchpad. I've been using this link right here, launchpad.classlink.com/Fort Worth. So if you want to hop on over there real quick, then you can sign in. Okay, and it should take you to a splash page that looks like this. Yours might look different than mine, but hopefully you can get onto Google Classroom on there. Hopefully you can get onto Focus to see your grades. So as far as I understand, and if you're hearing something different from your other teachers, then just double check with them and make sure that you're following what they want you to do. But for all your core classes like math, science, English, social studies, your 6 weeks learning is going to take place on Edgenuity. Now, my Edgenuity is going to look different than yours, okay? I might ask for someone who's feeling brave to share with us what their Edgenuity looks like in a second. But I was going to show you the way that this looks. We want to see pre-AP geometry. Learning at home, geometry, pre-AP geometry. Okay, so let's remember what that calendar looked like. Okay, today is April 7th, right? So technically, your only assignment for today is to know how the rest of the time that we're here together is going to work. I hope we get to see each other and all be in the same room learning together at some point. All we know is the governor said that we're going to stay like this until the end of April, and then after that we'll just wait and see. So it's kind of a unexpected time. I'm proud of you guys for keeping up with everything. Once I know more information, I will pass that along to you. But we've planned this out through May 15th because that's what we've been told to do. So tomorrow it says you need to go into Edgenuity and start working on quadrilaterals and coordinate algebra and learn about parallelograms. So here's where that works. So you can click to see the lesson objectives. Let's try that. Blocked. Here we go. Okay. So your goals are going to be to complete the steps to prove theorems about properties of parallelograms and apply properties of parallelograms to solve problems. They've also got guided notes for you. So we were told to really encourage you guys to take good notes. That doesn't, like, I have a printer at home that's not printing right now. So it's not going to be part of your grade to print these off and staple them and like mail them to me, okay? But you should be taking notes somehow, somewhere. If that means that you're writing them down on a piece of paper and you keep that in a folder, that's great. If that means that you're like typing notes in a Word document as you watch the videos, that's great too. Okay, so for each one of these, there's a lesson. This guy has a nice hairdo. Germany. Schnitzius is a German name, so I like this video already. Okay, so you're gonna get to go through, and you're going to get to watch a warm up, watch an instruction, watch a summary. Then what is going to determine your grade is going to be the assignment. So these quizzes are like around 10 questions each. Okay, I think I'm actually giving you the answer to this first one. That's your prize for watching this video, okay? So when you do this, this is going to be blank, right? So you're going to take the knowledge that you have from watching the lesson, and you're going to say, okay, parallelograms, what do I know about parallelograms? Well, the opposite sides are parallel and congruent. The opposite angles are congruent, so angle C has to be 79 degrees. I also know that the consecutive angles have to be supplementary, so 79 degrees plus 101 degrees would be 180 degrees. Bianca asked a really good question about the test retake. Do I have to get, what happens if I need to redo the test again? So you can take each of the quizzes 3 times. Obviously, it would be best if you would get everything the first time, but if you miss some questions, you can go back and review your notes and you can try again, okay? If you take it 3 times and you don't get a passing score on any of those 3 times, it'll lock you out of taking the quiz. And I'll be able to go back and reopen it for you, but then we'll have a discussion via Zoom or via email or via remind to say like, hey, what do you still need some help with? What do you have questions about here? I'm seeing something in the chat. Yes, Christina. Unmute. Do you know how to unmute yourself, Christina? Go to the bottom left and click on the unmute, or you can just type it here in the chat.
I did.
Hey, I can hear you, Christina. Yes. What's your question? How are you?
What's it called? Okay, so for the notes,
Uh-huh.
it's for ours, right? Like we don't have to show you our notes.
That's just for you. Yeah, I want you to have the knowledge, but I'm grading you on the assignment. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So that's as long as you're staying up on your Edgenuity, you should be in good shape. This week is kind of a light week. There's no school on Friday because it's Good Friday. But make sure that you have your missing assignments or make sure that you're following the steps on the 5th 6 weeks folder in Google Classroom to get your grade raised up if you need to. Okay. So see how it says in the folder here, pre-AP supplemental resources. Let's go and look at that. So for each lesson, so here's a folder in that 6 weeks folder, supplemental pre-AP resources for April 8th to 13th. So here's some like extra problems from the Springboard that you can go in and look at to kind of extend your learning a little bit, since this is a pre-AP class. Since most of you, if I remember correctly, signed up for pre-AP Algebra 2 next year. This is another good place for me to stop and ask, do you have any other questions? Christina was very brave to ask her question. I appreciate that. I really appreciate those of you that have been reaching out to me on Remind. If you have any questions at all, big questions, small questions, questions about how we're doing over here, questions about, what other questions could you ask me? Obviously, questions about what you're learning in Edgenuity, questions about whether or not I've graded one of your assignments that you turned in. I'll be happy to answer that. It's kind of it's a short week and there's a lot happening. So if you've turned your test corrections in, I'm working on grading that, and I will personally message you once that is done to let you know if you're caught up now or if you still have something else that you need to do. That is correct. The Springboard work is not for a grade. The grades are all going to come from Edgenuity. What additional comments could I say? This is a really strange time. This is an unexpected time. The most important thing right now, I think, is for you and your family to make sure that you're safe and healthy. If you are wanting some extra challenges, I'm absolutely happy to give those to you. But what we are and are not allowed to grade has been told to us pretty firmly by the Fort Worth ISD powers that be. So yeah, the only grades are going to come from Edgenuity. Yes, I think I heard a question coming through there. If the question is not making it through, feel free to chat.
Wait,
Question.
So everything
Yes.
Google Classrooms is for the last 6 weeks. pretty much.
Can you say that one more time? I didn't quite catch that.
So everything for Google Classrooms is for the last 6 weeks to like get our grade back up for that.
As of right now, yeah. Like as we go forward though, I'm going to, so everything in the folder that says 5th 6 weeks grades is from before.
Okay.
Today is like technically today's Tuesday, right? So today's technically the 2nd day of the 6 weeks. So there's not very much in here yet because we've just barely begun, right?
Mhm.
But at like Wednesday next week, I'll put in the extra information over geometric modeling in 2 dimensions. And so some of this is going to be review up until so in class we did angle measures of polygons, and then starting on April 16th, that'll be where you start to go over some of the information that I sent out to you, like when it was after spring break, but we were kind of still on spring break, you know. So there will be more information in here as time goes on.
Okay.
That's a good question. And that'll all be in the 6 weeks folder. And if you look on here and you're like, man, I think I'm supposed to find something in here, but I don't know where it is, email me, remind me. You guys know how to get a hold of me. Don't try to come to my house because you don't know where it is, and also I don't think I'm supposed to tell you my address. That was a joke, not a very funny one. Somebody thought it was funny. That's good. Any other questions? Any other questions? While you're waiting, here is my shrine to baseball that I'm missing a lot right now. I know I've got some baseball players in here. Before my wife and I got married, this whole wall was baseball stuff. But now that we're married, all her books and everything are back there. She's very smart. She has a master's degree in philosophy. So, but I hope that everything gets back to normal soon. I hope I get to see you guys again soon.
Wait, miss, I have a question.
Yes.
Wait, so we have to do the work on ingenuity now?
That's correct. Yes, your grades for 6 weeks are all going to come from Edgenuity. So we'll still have, like it says in the calendar. Calendar.
Wait, do we still have to show our work or what?
I would definitely recommend. So let me show you what my life is like right now. Like I've got a folder. Here's the things that I was planning on going over with you today while we were meeting, because there's just a lot going on right now. I teach 2 other classes, and if I don't write things down, I'm going to forget, right? So same thing for you. Like as you're going through the lessons, you want to take good notes. You can use those notes to help you on the quiz. And then you say, okay, I'm going to get to take the quiz. I'm going to do my best on the quiz 3 times, right? Well, excuse me. If I just like click an answer, click an answer, click an answer, click an answer, oh man, I need to go back and redo that. Well, if you didn't write anything down, you're not going to be able to see how you need to improve or like where your mistake was, right? So are you going to, you want to break out of the mindset of like, what's the, and I'm not accusing you of doing this, but some people do this, right? What's the bare minimum that I need to do to get by? When you get to college, there's going to be like, in some classes, like 5 or 6 assignments for the whole semester. So if you say, oh, great, they're not giving me a grade to study, they're not giving me a grade to go to class, I can just like turn in these 5 things and then that's easy. College is easy. Well, the reason it's like that is because you're in college, right? You're expected to study and take good notes and go to class. So working out the problems would be something more for you. You're not necessarily going to be like emailing me pictures of those they're going to be to help you complete the Edgenuity assignments. You guys still ask good questions. You haven't, coronavirus has not kept you from being able to ask good questions. Do y'all have any other questions? My dog's there wanting to come inside. I'll show you guys our dog later on. But yes, we will still have Zoom meetings. The next online class will be on Tuesday at 1:30. So every kind of like mark it into your calendar. Every Tuesday at 1:30 we'll meet together. If you have additional questions, please email me. Please remind me. Please tell me that you'd like to set up a Zoom meeting for extra tutoring help if you feel like that would be helpful for you. Even though I'm here in my house and you're there in your house, I'm still here for you as a resource just as much as I was if you were walking down the hall and coming into my room at lunch or before school or something like that. So I don't see anything else in the chat there. So I want to respect y'all's time. You guys have a great, fantastic day. Remember, if your grade needs help, Friday by midnight. Don't procrastinate. Procrastination is bad for you, and it's not good for your health. Let's see, Millie, I think I saw a question from you on Remind. Do you have a question, Millie? Oh, you found it. Okay, great. All right, thank you guys. Have a great day. Be safe, stay healthy. Tell your friends to watch the YouTube video if they're not here. Miss you guys. Let me know if you have any questions, okay? Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Good to see you. Have a good day.